Hey, before we start this video today, I meant to script this in. However, I am asking you as the audience to let me know how you think I should make these better. If you've seen any of my other work, you might have noticed I add music to some of them. You may notice that others do not have music. Some of them have been like 40 minutes, others closer to 10. What are your preferences? What do you think? Please let me know in the comments. I want you to help me make these cooler for you.
Anyway, I do all kinds of pantomiming and clowning and audience work. And
the miming was, now as a clown, I'm supposed to have beef with mimes, but I was cool with it.
Yeah, miming and clowning, it's all the same. There's no real,
right.
Clowning. I know so many clowns in Los Angeles now, like this woman, Natalie Palamides, who I think has some history with the Jackass movie. I don't know if you're familiar with you know who I'm talking about?
I'm
okay.
John C. Reily, a very famous comedian/actor, a movie star, and notable folk musician, went on the Steve-O Highway podcast. LOL, I wonder who came up with that concept first, him or Harlan Williams, but in any case, a few weeks back was when he went on it. It was pretty business as usual. They paid each other some respects. Steve-O talked about being sober, as always. But then, John C. Reily had a bone that needed picking on behalf of a clown friend of his. They kept it pretty chill, but I think this could develop, so I want to show you this now, world.
Familiar with you know who I'm talking about? Okay. You guys, I think it might have been the last movie, and this might be controversial. I'm going to warn you, this might be controversial. It involves Wee Man.
Okay.
So you guys decided, I think, in this last thing, like, we can't just have a bunch of swinging dicks. We have to add some women to the thing. We have to have some female performers, or else what are we doing? Like, it's just getting chauvinist or something.
Right.
So you asked these certain people who you thought were punk rock girls to come and, fuck with the show and be part of the show. And Natalie was asked to do it. Or not the show, the movie.
Yeah.
So Natalie came in, and she's a really good friend of mine. She's a brilliant clown. Like, one of the bravest people I've ever seen on stage, ever. She does a show called Nate, a one-man show that's on Netflix, and she has a new show coming out called Weir, W-E-E-R. Her and I do a lot of stuff at the Elysian Theater in L.A. Anyway, so she gets a skate. She's so excited. She loves Jackass as much as I do. She's just, I can't believe I'm here. And so there, I don't know even how you guys actually work it. I've never been to the set for your movies, but she's like, we're sitting around a lot, kind of eating, and Wee Man seemed to have like an issue that these chicks were just sitting around. But the first thing they were doing was like getting kicked in the nuts.
So, as you can already see, Steve-O starts to tense up a little bit. The Jackass crew is very tight-knit, as they started off as just a bunch of skater punks doing dumb shit on camera. They've been through a lot together, and full disclosure, I grew up at a perfect time to be a part of their target demographic. I first watched CKY and CKY2 after ordering it from CCS magazine at like 10, maybe 12 or something. I'm not the biggest fan of Steve-O's podcast, but I do have a vague understanding of why Steve-O might feel the need to go to bat for his dwarven friend.
But the first thing they were doing was like getting kicked in the nuts gag. And we're like, well, that's not, we all agreed, that's not going to be funny if the girls do it. You can't like kick a girl in the crotch, and it's just not as funny as kicking a guy in the balls.
Right.
And so they were kind of hanging back, and Wee Man was making these comments like, oh, you guys are just going to sit around, like, whatever, like, eat craft service, blah, blah, blah. And Natalie was like, okay, all right, whatever, like, don't be so aggro, dude. And she's like, and she was told, don't take shit from anybody. If someone's like, wants to prank you, prank them fucking back, like, that's your job. Like, don't be afraid, like, no holds barred, right?
No holds barred, eh? Which is to say that all holds are allowed? I'm 5 shadowing here right now, which is like foreshadowing, only +1.
Don't take shit from anybody. If someone's like,
Right.
you know, wants to prank you, prank them fucking back. You know,
Yeah.
like that's your job. Like, don't be afraid. Like,
Right.
no holds barred, right? And so Wee Man said a few more things to Natalie, and Natalie's no pushover, right? And she's like, "You want to go? You want to go?" And she just starts like fucking with him, thinking she's playing around or whatever. So she just goes at him, and they start wrestling.
Wow.
They start full on wrestling, and Natalie's strong, you know. And she grabs him, and she starts to like choke him out, right? She has her arm around his neck. She starts choking him out, but his arms were small, you know, and he's trying to tap her like to say like, you gotta let go of the chokehold, you know. But she didn't feel it. She didn't understand what was going on,
So,
right?
yeah.
And he almost like literally was choked out by her. And I also think after all his shit talking about girls earlier in the day, he was really emasculated and fucked up in the head by like getting taken out by this girl. And then she was like, and then Johnny's like, yeah, fucking. He's like laughing while they're doing it. And she's like, just thinks like, I'm doing good. Johnny's laughing. It's all good. Meanwhile, Wee Man's about to pass out. Yeah.
So this punk rock clown chick decides she's had enough of Wee Man's big mouth and challenges him to a wrestling match. If I'm honest, that might seem kind of crazy on other movie sets, but from what we've seen over the decades of Jackass, it's actually pretty on brand. It's not like this was going to make it on the movie itself, but it feels, as I said, very on brand, or rather, very within the culture I might imagine they were trying to cultivate. As Reily says, Johnny Knoxville was a hootin' and a hollerin' the whole time, cheering them on. I could understand the confusion on behalf of the punk rock clown chick, and I'm sure Wee Man did too. Right?
Doing good. Johnny's laughing. It's all good. Meanwhile, Wee Man's about to pass out. Yeah. He's trying to tap out, but she wasn't getting the signal. And finally, someone saw and figured out. She pulled him off and whatever.
They pulled her off of him.
She was fired. Like by the next day, they were like, "Okay, you got to go," because you know he was so like embarrassed by like we're just trying to find a way for Wee Man to recover from this, and we can't really see a way. And I know we told you to do whatever, but maybe that went too far. Like,
Now, as we saw earlier, and as we touched on, Steve-O's natural inclination is going to be to want to stick up for Wee Man, and I respect that. But let's see where it goes from here.
Whatever, but maybe that went too far. Like, But anyway, isn't that interesting?
I'm not sure that story is entirely accurate, but man, did I enjoy it.
What do you mean? Were you there?
I was not there.
Why wouldn't you say it was accurate? You call me a liar?
I'm not calling you a liar.
Natalie told me this shit one-on-one, dude.
First off, what a bitchy thing to say. I'm not sure that story is entirely accurate, but I did enjoy it. Fuck off, dude. That's so teacher core of you. That was a very AA response. That's straight out of the De-Escalating Troubled Youth handbook.
I'm not calling you a liar.
Natalie told me this shit one-on-one, dude.
Would this
and
have
Natalie's
been
a good friend of mine. There's no reason she would lie to me about it. You better have her on this show. You better bring the heat. Have her on this show. You better bring the heat. Have her on this show. Bring the heat.
Steve-O is uncomfortable. And now, having witnessed this, I am too. But John C. Reily stays locked in.
Bring the heat. Have her and Wee Man.
I think I might be blushing.
You are. Well, maybe was this at the test shoot? Maybe
I think it was at the test shoot because I've heard something close to that before.
Okay, thank you.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Have her and Wee Man on because this would be like a real you know, Geneva Peace Conference kind of thing, like to work this.
See, even when it was validated by other people in the van or RV or whatever, this, to some extent or another, happened. I really, really hope that Wee Man and Steve-O make this reconciliation happen on the podcast, and this is where we come in, my friends. I think, so long as Wee Man has an X or an Instagram, that we should lightly, in a non-harassing sort of way, encourage this to happen. Just give him some prank-ish shite. I think it'd be great to see. I think it'd be fun to hear the actual story from the two involved parties, being the punk rock clown chick and the angry little dwarf. And also, a third thing to properly end this list. Yeah, it's kind of clunky. Anyway, before I let you go, let's hear Steve-O's reaction to this, shall we?
Work this out, this beef.
Good.
A little diplomacy.
Candidly, I was just trying to
give him the room in case he's like, fuck that! That bitch was saying shit to me, not the other way. Like, okay, whatever.
I was just trying to create some plausible deniability so I could have my buddies back.
Good. Well, I've got Natalie's back, so fuck you, wee man. You got my friend fired, you little bitch.
You got my friend fired, you little bitch. Genuine podcast gold. And part of why I'm finding that when an actor who doesn't need the comedy circle or the Rogan sphere or the connections beyond being homies goes on to these hug and plug podcasts, it tends to be the best. Here's a video I did covering when Ed Helms schooled Mark Norman and Sam Morril. I've been Critical Leaks, and in the meantime, be nice.